stupid piece of shit. Hey, how's everyone doing today? This is Michael, quicksavequickload.com, coming to you here on Twitch, and I'm just checking my text messages that I didn't notice that I got. But for the first time, I'm also going to be here on the TikToks, which is a new thing for me, which is kind of cool. Actually, it's not cool. It's there. It exists. And yeah. Although the people on Twitch can't see shit, they can't see my screen. So you're getting the exclusive experience here on Twitch. Live. Yeah, so today's going to be a little bit of a different stream than what I normally do. Instead of my usual gameplay streams here, I'm going to go through something that I actually had access to for a few months now, actually. Let me actually just take it right to my desktop. That's the wrong screen. That's the wrong screen. Yeah, let's hide that. Let's display. What? The fuck are you talking about? Oh, so I did have it correctly set up. It just broke. That's awesome. Love it when things break as soon as you start a stream here. Yeah, why am I so... Oh, whatever. So, this is the EGM Archive, Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine from... I believe it ended around 2014, if I remember correctly. It had a little bit of a resurgence and then immediately died, like most other magazines. And I would like to actually go through here and go through some old magazines with you. Just, as a collective trip down memory lane of video games past, as well as just general see like what opinions may have held up. Is there anything particularly embarrassing about these magazines? Of course there is. But yeah, and in general, just both this as well as Apple did have its WWDC keynote thing today. I don't know if anyone is an Apple person. Lawrence, I know you are because you fucking work there. But anyone who still follows that shit. And yeah, see what y'all think. I got my opinions. In general, I think it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. But first of all, as you can see here, we have every EGM from 1989 up to what was the last one? Okay, summer of 2014. I was right, with a mysterious missing issue. If any joining here on Twitch, actually there's quite a few of you, so thank you very much for joining on Twitch if you're there. If anyone's watching here on Twitch, TikTok, go to twitch.tv/quicksavequickload. You can see my screen there as I'm explaining some of these old ass magazines that we're looking at today. But in general, I wanted to go over some of these things and see. Don't help me. I'm sure it's on your LinkedIn. If that's embarrassing for you, I apologize. But yeah, I want to see what are the big swings and misses? Here's a good example. We have EGM issue 166, May of 2003. Looks like it's Enter the Matrix. Yeah. So let's open this. Oh, Engage. Oh man, this is gonna have Engage content, guys, dudes, folks. Engage, only the best. Hey, I've talked about this before. This is only the best video game content here on quicksavequickload.com, twitch.tv/quicksavequickload. But man, look at this shit. I'm blocking things a little bit here. Is there a better way I can position myself? That's marginally better. But man, look at this, Splinter Cell. Actually, hold on. A couple things here that I think is awesome about this era of video gaming. Okay, first, Splinter Cell. Fantastic series of stealth action adventure games from the Tom Clancy series and Ubisoft and all that shit. Ubisoft recently teasing a new Splinter Cell here. Well, actually, they do that. Okay, real talk. Okay, hold on. I've only been doing this for 2 seconds, but we're going to real talk cam / the TikTok cam. I have 2 cameras. Fascinating. I should be in 3D. So Ubisoft is a dick collectively, because they know that the fans want one thing, and that is Splinter Cell, a real ass sequel to Splinter Cell. Blacklist was pretty good, all things considered, as far as a modern Splinter Cell game goes. But like Jill Stein in the Green Party, Ubisoft only comes out with them once every 4 or 5 years. They tease a new Splinter Cell and then immediately Homer Simpson back into the hedge, which is bullshit. Hashtag gimme Splinter Cell. Excellent. Oh, I almost went to the wrong thing. Okay, so so a couple things here. The Splinter Cell series, incredible series of video games. This ad is great because it has Splinter Cell, of course, but also has something that doesn't make sense for video games anymore. But like GameCube and the Game Boy Advance connection to unlock like content and like levels and stuff. Actually, I don't know if this implies that it was you unlock stuff in main Splinter Cell on the GameCube or in the GBA version of Splinter Cell. Regardless, that's crazy that they would unlock, like, you buy 2 copies of like 2 versions of the game and they unlock each other, if you try to like connect the 2 systems together. Crazy. Doesn't make sense like anymore because games are just games now. They're less products and stuff, but incredible. So let's keep going. Fucking A. This is a great image right here. All right. Man, the Angel of Darkness. Like, I love how they're just, hello Julian on TikTok. I love how like they're now trying to like revise the history of Angel of Darkness. Can the doc go away, please? Whatever. Of Angel of Darkness is like, oh, this is an unsung great game in the franchise. When it's like, nah, Angel of Darkness always sucked. Look at this fucking font. Once again, if you're on TikTok, you can't see my screen. Go to twitch.tv/quicksave/quickload for what you're seeing on my screen here. Looking at old magazines. This is an incredible font. I want this in Microsoft Word. I want to format work emails with that font. We're going to ignore what was on that last page. I don't think it technically violates TOS. What is this? EGM, what are you guys doing? Man, look at this. Wolverine's Revenge. Look at this guy right here. Look at this. Look how fucking ugly this Wolverine is. And the Sabretooth. The Sabretooth, like, both their faces look so flat. It's like they both got ran over by the same car. Amazing stuff. More Tomb Raider. Guys, it was the early 2000s. Tomb Raider was simultaneously dead and everywhere. Oh, actually, that's funny. Let's see if I can... Is there an easier way to freaking zoom into this crap? Oh, there is. Excellent. The Tomb Raider reviews, as you can see, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, great game, okay game, yeah, game, bad game. Just an incredible review curve here for the Tomb Raider series on the OG PlayStation. They tried to reboot it with Angel of Darkness and failed miserably. Man. Okay, yeah. Okay, look. Hold on. Engage. Guys, this is the reason we're here. Oh, my God. Engage, and then down below is also my white whale, or at least one of my white whales of gaming, the Phantom. Guys, you have no idea. Engage, what a terrible, terrible system. I don't really have to explain why. I guess like there's a good portion of the gaming audience at this point have no idea what the fucking Engage is, isn't it? Engage, for those out of the know, was this cell phone from Nokia, who was a company that made phones back in the day. That was supposed to be like a Game Boy Advance killer in a way. You know, like a lot of those kind of things back in the day. Failed miserably because it was terrible. Let's actually, let's see here. Side talking Engage. This is why the Engage never worked. Look at this. Look at this man. Actually, look at these like fucking doughy ass white men. Oh my god. I can't believe all these guys look so different and yet the same. Also, a surprise cameo in this video by Jeff Gerstmann of the Jeff Gerstmann Show and GiantBomb.com. Yeah, so this is how you talked into the Engage for using it as a phone. You held it to the side of your face while the wide side faces out, so it looked like you were talking into a taco. Incredible industrial design. I can't believe it's one of those things where it's like you can't believe they actually did it, and then they did. Amazing. All right. Sorry, my phone was blocking my tab. I couldn't find out where I was. Yeah, and it was also, how much was it? Like, it was like multiple hundreds of dollars, and this was in the era in which, you were basically tied down to like a 2 or 3 year contract with your phone provider. So like technically, like the early days of iPhones and like smartphones, like those were like we're in the $1,000 phone era now. That was the $1,000 phone era then. You know, when you factor in the price of a phone into your cell phone contract. So like an Engage at this point, actually, fuck it. Yeah, let's find out. Definitely less than $540. How much would you pay for all this? Oh, no price has been set yet. Wait, wait, hold on. This is terrible journalism right here. We're gonna you talk about ethics in gaming journalism. Here you go. Headline, Nokia Engage Gaming. Yes, accurate. It's a phone, it's a console, it's expensive as hell. Good subtitle. Go to the end of the article. No price has been set. Less than $540. Then where did they get off by saying this thing's expensive when they don't know what the price is? Stupid. Also, some hooligans were messing with my cat earlier. So, where's my buddy? I'm going to try to lure in my cat here. Because I want her to sit down in her bed. There you go, buddy. And I want her to take a little... get a little comfy. Kiki has not been particularly comfy in a little bit, which makes me a little worried about her. We're trying our best here with the cat. You're doing such a good job, buddy. Yeah, we love you. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, she's still there. So let's. And there you go. These guys can kind of see her a little bit. Once again, if you're on TikTok, you can't see what my cat looks like. Twitch.tv/quicksave quickload. What are you doing? All right. So, there we go. Having unethical gaming journalism here. Oh, yeah, and then the Phantom. So, from my recollection, the Phantom was a console that back in the day was supposed to be like almost like a DVR satellite cable box. Like, that's how games were delivered. Like, basically digitally, like, not quite internet, but like games being like beamed to your house instead of like putting in a disc or a cartridge. It never came out. I think there was like a few accessories that came out that are floating around eBay if you're, rich and stupid. But yeah, never came out. Because look at this thing. This is the ugliest fucking thing you've ever seen. Like, it's like if someone tried to draw like an Xbox, like an original Xbox, try to draw it from memory. What a terrible system. Let's see if we can jump ahead here. Enter the Matrix. Oh, Def Jam Vendetta. What a fantastic game. It's wrestling. It's rap music from the early 2000s. It's pretty good. All right, so let's see. Is there a table of contents that I could pull up here? I'm sure there is. Microsoft recalls Kakakojin. You think Wei would know it? Yeah, you gotta fucking know your history. Gotta put in your 50. Know your history. That is a joke for one person here. Put in your 50. Know your history. Man, okay. Where is... Man, look at these GameCube. Jack 2. Great game. I think. Man, I just want the Enter the Matrix stuff. I just want to enter the Matrix, like in real life and in video games. All Matrix all the time. Okay, here we go. Thank God. Alrighty, so Enter the Matrix was a game that was, from my understanding, like pretty much entirely conceived and had a lot of creative control from the Wachowskis. Was supposed to be a sort of like a companion piece to The Matrix Reloaded. The story of Enter the Matrix explains a lot of the weird bullshit that happens in The Matrix Reloaded, which is why that movie does make a lot of sense, because a lot of people didn't play Enter the Matrix before seeing The Matrix Reloaded. What a stupid idea. like I remember at the time thinking like, oh man, this idea is off the chains. Like, the directors of The Matrix having creative control over a Matrix game, recorded, filmed basically an hour's worth of cutscenes for the game, like exclusively for the game. They, the directors of the movie did that. Like, that's insane. And they collectively made one of the worst video games of all time. Man, I played Enter the Matrix like about 2-3 years ago on this channel. That footage is long since gone, and it is just an abysmal game. Like, look at this thing. If you're on TikTok, twitch.tv/quicksavequickload, so you can see what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, look at this guy. Look, we got Ghost over here, played by Guy, and Niobe, played by J.D. Pinkett Smith. And like, this looks terrible, right? Like, this car has square, like, basically square wheels, right? Like, look at that. No shadows on like anything. And like, yeah, it's a PlayStation 2 game, but this is 2 years after like like Metal Gear Solid 2 and like Final Fantasy 10 and like a lot of those first gen PlayStation 2 games that I think actually a lot of those games hold up pretty well. And then you have this hunk of crap where nothing has a shadow and everything looks like it was drawn with a ruler. Oh man, Lawrence, okay, I have to ask you, like, for these things, did you ever have like one of these like portable like PlayStation or Xbox, like, bring a monitor with you? Because I remember seeing ads for those fucking everywhere on like the magazines, of course, and then like I think G4 would run coverage of those things all the time. And I remember thinking that was the coolest thing in the world. And then I grew up and realized that was the dumbest thing you could possibly have, is playing a PlayStation 2 game on a screen that's like yay big, and it costs $300 and probably lasts for like 10 minutes on battery or something. Man, look at this old school review crew. I have a ton of memories of like this is like maybe like 3 or 4 years before like EGM and 1UP really started the trend of like video game podcasts and long form video game podcasts. And it's a format that like still is kind of around nowadays, where you have like a roundtable host talking about like what they've been playing, news, and all that kind of stuff. These guys like really pioneered that, and for me personally was a big inspiration for wanting to get into working on like the Lore Party Podcast Network, which is a network that, for those who don't know, kind of now only exists in name, unfortunately, because of people making interesting decisions. I'll put it that way. But yeah, like these guys were a massive inspiration to that, and yeah, and I think most of these guys are now and gals and pals are now out of the games coverage game, because of course, like this is almost like, what is this issue? This is from 2003. This is an issue of a magazine that is now 22 years old. I'll just let that sink in here as we look at this ad for Mega Man and Bass. Or Bass. And you know what? Fuck it. It's Mega Man and Bass. This is now a fishing game starring Mega Man. Capcom, call me. Man, they really wanted to push this X-Men video game, didn't they? I wonder what they ended up reviewing. If they ended up reviewing that, and what they may have given it. The PlayStation 2 version of Splinter Cell. It's how I originally played it. Not great, because it doesn't run particularly well. The shadows aren't like amazing. Like look at this like grain. Like it's almost like you're looking through this beer goggles. Ridiculous. Oh, it's everyone on TikTok. Man, Joel, Francisco. Thank you for joining on the stream here. Once again, if you want the full content of this, check out twitch.tv/quicksavequickload. Zone of the Enders. I never really got into Zone of the Enders, which is a shame. It seems like that would really be up my alley, but I never really got around to playing it. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, this is the early 2000s. Deodorant ads. What's this about? A deodorant with... What the fuck does that mean? Like, I know what this means. I've worn this. This was my jam in 2003, in 2004. And again, and then I grew up. God damn it. All right. Well, I think that's all I wanted to get out of that issue. Yeah, that motherfucker should have known his history. All right. So, anyone watching on Twitch, you see these magazine covers? Any of these topics that jump out to you? Actually, hold on. Let's actually, if anything does jump out, let me know. But let's go into an issue that's really old. Let's see how great that is. Man, a lot of fucking Mortal Kombat covers. Yeah, like right here. Okay, this is from 1995. I don't know what you said, Lawrence, because on my side of things, it's all stars. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up chat here on Twitch. What is happening? View. Zoom out, I guess? I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know where chat is right now. Oh, wait a minute. I could just do this. And creator dashboard. There we go. Whoa. Yeah, Lawrence, I don't know what you said. I thought I turned off the. I thought I turned off some of the filters. For you. Unless you just literally just typed in a few asterisks. All right, well, let's see here. But anyway, Mortal Kombat on EGM. So we have 1995. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the, I'm assuming it's 12, issues of EGM were Mortal Kombat covers. That's fucking weird. Again, ethics in gaming journals. I mean, I kid. I mean, actually, no, that's a little fucked up. Because why would you do that? Unless you were just desperate for content and you had nothing else to fill it, why would you do that? Come on, guys. Oh, here's more Mortal Kombat. Bullshit. Okay, let's, oh, fuck it. Let's go to, the 32X version of Doom. That's gotta be dumb. An exclusive look at Nintendo's new 32-bit virtual reality system. Awesome. All right, let's read it. Also, hold on. I want to highlight one thing. The page counts. This issue of this gaming magazine from 1994 has 388 pages. That's insane. Now you're lucky to get a magazine with words, let alone 338 pages or whatever it was. Or 388 pages, excuse me. All right, let's open. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you guys seeing this shit? I mean, unless you're on TikTok, in which you should go to twitch.tv/quicksave-quickload. Never stop promoting. This is one of the worst ads I've ever seen. Okay. Let's go back into full screen here. This incredible ad for Star Trek Generations. This is a better ad than the movie. All right, do we have an attitude? You shouldn't. Oh, Blockbuster Video. Oh, man. Look at this Blockbuster ad. This is great. Go to Blockbuster and rent the hottest new game. Attempt it. Curse it. Go with it. Beat it. Master it. Conquer it. Bored with it. Return that shit to Blockbuster. What a great ad. This could be a vicious cycle. Man. This is great. Shining Force 2. I think I've only played Shining Force 1 to completion, at least. Incredible stuff. Just incredible. What a confusing ad. All right. Ooh, The Lion King on Super Nintendo. Ah. Wait, hold on. Okay, this is bullshit. This sentence is bullshit. The Lion King has the looks and the sounds of the animated movie, but lacks the intensity that Virgin Games usually have. Also, first of all, the company name Virgin Games, hilarious. No notes. 5 out of 5 stars. Second, if you played the Lion King game on Super Nintendo, that game is fucking ridiculous. Not intense? That's one of the most intense things you could do in your life, let alone playing a video game as you accidentally turn the page to the Breath of Fire ad. Pac-Man 2, the sequel to Pac-Man. Oh, what is up with these fucking ads? I'm uncomfortable. I'm just gonna leave this for the rest of the stream. I'm just gonna put him in the. We'll put Bubsy in the corner. Look at this fucking Shaq Fu ad. Amazing stuff. Amazing. Oh man, yeah, we're gonna go through some of these. We might play something later, probably not, because this motherfucker has to go to bed at some point. Lawrence, I'll play if you're still down. I'll play Fortnite with you tomorrow. I should be on around the usual time window. Sega set to give Nintendo a knuckle sandwich. Awesome. Page Master, man, I remember once being sick as a kid, and staying home from school. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't like that. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. Damn it. But I remember once being sick from school, and normally when that would happen is because my house was close to a convenience store that would rent out VHSs and all that kind of stuff back in the day. There we go. That is horrific. But my mom would give me a few dollars so I could go rent a movie, to watch while I was sick. And I remember once I checked out the Page Master from there, because that movie has Macaulay Culkin in the starring role, and I'm a dumb child, or was, now I'm just a dumb adult, and I confused the Page Master with Home Alone 2 and Richie Rich, which were two movies I watched a lot as a child. I remember very little of the Page Master. I remember there being some stop motion animation that was kind of neat. But I have, aside from that, I have very, very few memories of the Page Master. I don't like this. Alrighty. Where's the... I just want to get to the 32X version of Doom, because that version of Doom is insane. Okay, here we go. It's insane for a number of reasons. First of all, and I'm pretty sure this is the 32X version. Apologies if I'm wrong. But the 32X version of Doom was made by one person. This one whose name I'm embarrassingly forgetting at the moment. But she was tasked by her employer, who bought the rights to Doom for an absurd amount of money, to make a 32X version. And the head of that company that bought the rights to Doom was so incompetent that basically he thought the only way to put weapons or anything into a game was to just draw it. Literally, you just draw a bazooka and it's oh, hey, you got a bazooka, whatever. That's what he literally thought making a game was like. One of the most incompetent human beings on the planet who was in charge of a company. And basically gave this female programmer about, I want to say it was 5 weeks to make this game. And it is by far the worst version of Doom. it is full of false advertising on the packaging from my recollection. Like it has like an inaccurate like level count and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. I guess that was just an ad for that. It wasn't actually the thing. Let's see. Let's just go through this as fast as possible here. Unless we see something cool. Yeah, more Star Trek Generation shit. Beavis and Butthead the game. So many strategy guides. Look at this. Like, okay, magazines back in the day were like a monthly release, right? This thing is 300. What is this? This is insane. What? What is this face? What is this face? I'm legit speechless right now. Oh my god. I forgot what I was talking about. I just want to get to the 32x version of Doom. Okay, here we go. Thank God we're here. These screenshots are terrible. Oh my god. This looks like it was like filmed off of a TV. Like it has that kind of weird quality, but you would think that would capture like a TV better than this, right? Right? I mean, like, look how bad this is. Look at this guy. He looks like he's having a good time. Man. Excuse me. Incredible stuff. Just incredible. But yeah, it was that version of Doom was made in like 4 weeks. Like actually, it was like I think it was like 5 to 6. Not that much better. But is like barely functional. Like it runs in like the single digit frame rates for pretty much the entire game. It's borderline. It is unplayable. It's just unplayable. Star Wars Masters of the Terrascasi. More Mortal Kombat. God, I wanna find see if any of these guys are like on like Blue Sky or something like that, and DM them and see if there was like any dealings that corporate had with like Midway or whatever for Mortal Kombat stuff, because like you would not make this much Mortal Kombat content unless money was dealing hands, right? Like that's ridiculous. My God. Oh, here we are in I was about to say the modern day, but this is 20 years ago. Halo 2, your guide to PS2 Online. Here's my guide to PS2 Online. It was bad and was always bad. If you got your PS2 Online, you must have performed some sort of minor miracle or made some sort of under the table deal with the devil or something. Like I was able to do it, but it was a fucking pain in the ass. Like even with having the network adapter and everything, it sucked so hard. Hello. Actually, there's quite a few people on TikTok right now. Hello, TikTok watchers. I'm Michael of QuickSaveQuickLoad.com here, going over some old episodes of Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine here on Twitch, twitch.tv/QuickSaveQuickLoad. So you can see my screen and see all the wonderful, terrible magazines that I'm talking about today. If you can't and don't want to watch on Twitch, that's okay. Feel free to hang out in the chat, talk about old games, some of your favorite old gaming memories, and whatever you wish. I hope you all are having a good day here. All right. So, oh man, okay, we have to look at this. The PSP versus Nintendo DS. I was a PSP kid through and through. I love my PSP. I still like my. I have it here. This is not my original PSP, but yeah, it's within arm's reach of where I am right now. Does this thing have any battery left? Nope, it is dead. But yeah, I loved this thing mostly because okay. Okay, for a second I thought my disc was stuck in my PSP. Right now I have Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops on my PSP. Nice little Metal Gear game. I think it was technically canon for a little bit, and then got decanonized around the same time that Metal Gear Solid 4: The Twin Snakes. The Metal Gear Solid 4: The Twin Snakes. Jesus Christ, Guns of the Patriots came out, and I think they decanonized it, unfortunately. Or it may have been Peace Walker when that happened, but regardless, I was a PSP kid. Because I think like the Sony advertising around that time really, I think, got to me where it was like, no, like I'm gonna play fucking real games for men, like Metal Gear Acid and Portable Ops. And this is like this era of like 1UP and EGM was like, this was my shit. Like this is where I played like, well, shit. It's in a magazine. It's fair use. Bad. That's my review. Where like I have not played more games since this era of my life. Most of you guys like, hey, you're a fucking dirtbag teenager and you suck at everything at life, and all you can do with your life is play video games. If you didn't have friends, you played video games. And if you didn't play new video games, you played Thief: The Dark Shadows on the original Xbox. A thoroughly mediocre video game, if ever there was one. Man, look at all this shit. Yeah, this is good. This is really good. This again, is like some of my favorite formative gaming memories of the time here. Beautiful Joe 2, awesome brawler, wonderful style, as the people of the internet like to say, the millennials of the internet like to say, Beautiful Joe 2 fucks. Playboy Mansion, man, when Playboy for some reason wanted to make a game based on The Sims and then failed miserably. GoldenEye Rogue Agent, one of the worst video games I've ever played. I can't believe they actually made it, and I can't believe they sold it. Just appalling. Prince of Persia 2, Silent Hill 4. Silent Hill 4 is pretty fucking good, let me tell you that. Man, games back then were freaking horny, but like horny in like the lamest way imaginable. What am I looking at with this Blockbuster ad? Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Just an incredible video game. Hot take, I think Snake Eater is a better game than Subsistence, even with the camera change, and I don't like the camera change in Subsistence. That game was made to be played top down, and making it behind the camera or behind the back without modern behind the back game mechanics just makes it a poor video game. KOTOR 2, not a lame video game, an awesome video game. Having currently playing through the original Knights of the Old Republic. I think the existence of Knights of the Old Republic 2 makes that game worse. Mainly because like KOTOR 2 really challenges what a Star Wars story can and should be. In a way that I think is really refreshing, really interesting. In a way that I know a lot of people give shit for Star Wars Last Jedi. Not entirely unearned. I think that film is pretty average, and pretty mediocre and pretty sloppy. All things told. And I think what that film tries to do was challenging a lot of the assumptions around Star Wars stories and how all these things interconnect in this franchise. KOTOR 2 does it leaps and bounds better. I think mostly because it doesn't feel tied down to all the Skywalker horse shit. Jade Empire, this game's okay. This game's okay. Been playing this off and on my iPhone. Been playing the iPhone version of Jade Empire. It's fine. Shockingly, like, I remember thinking, like, oh man, like, this game's really cultured because it takes place in China. Because I'm a stupid white boy in the early 2000s. Excuse me. And you realize, oh man, this game's actually racist. Because like mostly because like all the characters sound like they're from Southern California, making just the most ham-fisted like ching chong bing bong bullshit, like racist talk, like to the point where it's like I can't believe what I'm listening to right now. It's like you watch Big Trouble in Little China once, and then you realize, like, and you think you know what all like Asian like people sound like. Horribly racist. Anything interesting on this page? Not particularly. First mention of Forza Motorsport, so that's vaguely interesting. Geist, everyone's favorite GameCube game. Nintendo DS. Okay, so one of the reasons we're here on this issue, Nintendo DS games. Animal Crossing DS. I don't remember playing that. I do remember playing a lot of Metroid Prime Hunters, which was sort of that was like the demo game that a lot of demo kiosks at like your GameStops and like Walmarts and stuff had. And I remember being a kid, and I would go like grocery shopping with my mom or whatnot on the weekends. And anytime we would go to like Walmart or someplace that had demo kiosks, back in the day, I would just like plant myself in front of either the GameCube or the Nintendo DS for some reason. Even though I don't really care about either system, or at least not back then. I like the DS right now well enough. But yeah, I would just like play that entire time. I would just bolt right to the video game section, the demo kiosks, hang out there for like a half hour, 45 minutes. My mom would swing by and say, all right, time to go. And I'd be like, okay, can I finish this level of the demo to Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike? And she'll say, shut the fuck up and get in the car. So we have PictoChat over here. It's PictoChat. I don't know what to tell you. More Tom Clancy, Splinter Cell, though. That's pretty cool. Pandora Tomorrow. I remember very little of it, to be perfectly honest. It's a weird like middle chapter where it's like it doesn't have the refinements of like the games that still hold up, but it doesn't have the novelty of being the first game in the franchise. So it's just kind of in this middle ground of who cares. Metal Gear Acid, awesome. Actually, it's not that awesome, but it's pretty neat. You have this Metal Gear Solid game with the framework of a like a card battler. So you build up this deck of like abilities and weapons and stuff like that, and you do your missions and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. I wouldn't necessarily call it good, but it's pretty neat. ATV Off-Road Fury, played that a ton. Like, I have a lot of very fond memories of playing the PS2 ATV Off-Road Furies with my dad and my sister and all that stuff. Really lovely video game memories. Again, if you're in chat either on Twitch or on TikTok, I'd love to hear some of your formative gaming memories. So put them in the comments over here, and yeah, we'll see how it is. More PSP games. Ridge Racer. No, I played the 3DS version of Ridge Racer. Remember that being fun. Thug 2. Not the best Tony Hawk game, but it's probably the one I played the most. to be honest. More Dead or Alive shit. God, okay. I said before, gaming in this era was horny in the lamest way possible. And the Dead or Alive series really exemplifies that. let's go with this one here. Again, just wanted to take a peek at like different sort of eras of games that I remember very fondly. I remember this issue very fondly as well because I was very big into like, oh, what's this next gen of gaming going to be? And I remember, man, I'm so glad I got to this page. So very glad I got to this page because I remember being a kid in like high school or whatever, and like I watched a ton of G4 back in the day, and I remember very distinctly seeing the unveiling of what at that time was the Revolution, now the Nintendo Wii, but the remote controller for that. And I remember talking to one of my friends back then, and I was like, "Hey, did you see like all the stuff about the Nintendo Revolution?" And my friend was like, "No." And I was like, "Here, let me show you what the controller looks like." And I brought out a notebook that I had, and tried to draw from memory what the Wii remote and the nunchuck looked like. And I remember my buddy at the time was like, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard." I was like, "What is Nintendo so dead?" And I was like, "I don't know." How will it be used? Oh man. Oh, actually, this will be pretty fun. Excuse me. Oh man, look at this. Okay, theorizing how Smash Brothers would be on the Wii back before it was announced. Assuming the gameplay stays 2D, hey, who knows? A simple way to use the controller would be to have you wave it in any direction to attack that way or up to jump. What? That sounds like I remember having these kind of like spitball theories as a kid, and I remember it being just terrible. Like, like in hindsight, because there are some games who did try to do these kind of things, and it was so terrible. The assumption is like, it's like, oh, this just is how it's gonna work. Is now in hindsight absurd. One of the demos Nintendo let us play was a version of Prime 2 retrofitted to use the new Revolution controller and its nunchaku setup. It worked great. Okay. Unannounced games. Star Wars, one word, lightsaber. The Revolution has its killer app. Can we get a hell yeah? Can we get a hell yeah in the comments on either TikTok or Twitch with a hell yeah if you remember wanting to play a lightsaber game on the Wii? And give me a hell no if you remember it being bad. Hell no. All right. More of this shit. Yeah. Okay. This is okay. This is honestly the secret big reason I want to look at this issue. Was this OG concept controller for the PlayStation 3 with this like shitty ass boomerang design? Like, why would you think this is a good idea? I want to know. Like, this does not look ergonomic in any way, shape, or form. It looks terrible. And yet, like, that's when Sony showed off initially, was this fucking boomerang thing before they made the 6-axis and then the DualShock 3. But man, like, look at this garbage ass controller. Like, look at these shoulder buttons. Like, forget the shape of this thing being an abomination of mankind. But like, look at these shoulder buttons, just abysmal. Yeah. Oh my god. This page is unlocking a lot of very nice memories for me. So I remember being so fucking jazzed about Metal Gear Solid 4 that I was showing like any friend I could muster to watch the trailer for Metal Gear Solid 4 on my iPod video. I would try to get as many people to watch this thing as possible. And then I didn't play that game for a decade after it came out. Because, hey, the fucking PlayStation 3 was expensive. I was a teenager from a poor ass family. You think I could afford a PlayStation 3 back in 2007? Like, get real. I got one. What was it at this point? Like maybe like 7, 8 years ago from Goodwill for $70. Because I'm an idiot. All right, I think that's enough of this issue. Just wanted to look at some of the next gen systems here. All right, let's see if I think we have time for a couple more issues here. Let's look at something actually more recent. Let's see if we can find something for. Yeah, let's look at this PlayStation 4 issue. These games are still coming out for the PlayStation 4 pretty regularly. Let's look at this. Take a look at this issue. I have a feeling this issue is going to be far less interesting to look at. But we'll see. Oh yeah, first let's take a look at the team here for EGM back in this time. None of these people I recognize. I vaguely know the name Andrew Fitch, but that's it. But yeah, no, like Shane and Crispin and all like Dan, all those dudes from back in the day were long gone at this point. I mean, I don't even think they were doing their podcasts at this time anymore. Final Fantasy 14. That's pretty funny. Some retrospectives of other issues of EGM. That's pretty funny. Look at this fucking guy. But man, it's funny because like you look at some of this stuff and like they're talking like a lot of retro stuff, and I think it's just indicative of the pace of gaming news, even back in 2014 when this issue came out, being a lot slower than what it was back in, the early 2000s, where like you would have like maybe like 5 to 10 games come out every week. And there were like 5 to 10 games of note that would come out every week. Even if they didn't appeal to everyone, they all appealed to someone. And the cost of games as well, from both the consumer face as well as a development cost face, even out enough where like you can have like a mid-budget game that appeals to a few like tens of thousands of players and still make a decent profit. Because like I want to say like with the rate of inflation from maybe like even 2010, but like let's be generous here and say like 2004, 2005. Like a game back then, I think now would cost like upwards of like $130, $140 at retail. And to think like that is the kind of price that a customer would need to pay there we go. That a customer would need to pay in order to sustain those kind of budgets. That's ridiculous. Like no one is going to spend $140 on a box copy of a video game today. Like people are in uproar of the Nintendo Switch 2 being $80 games. Even that's probably not enough to truly recoup cost of games. When you have a game that nowadays comes out for on average somewhere between $60 to $70. Like you really think about it and you look at how these like stores are set up, that's the entry price. The true cost of a game is somewhere in the $100+ range once you factor in every piece of content that 10, 15, 20 years ago would come on disc, just because like they have to ship a minimally viable product to as many people as possible. And then people who have enough disposable income will buy all these add-ons or currency or whatever. And that makes up the true cost of development. Not, some kid who requests a copy of Madden every year for Christmas. like that, that'll cover like a base level of development costs. Why the PlayStation 4 will win. Why the Xbox One will win. Spoilers. Actually, depending on who you want to ask, neither of these systems won. The Nintendo Switch won, and then if you really want to extrapolate, PC gaming won in this era. At least I would say like PC gaming won in the long haul. Secret Weapons, new Kinect sensor, no one gave a shit. Extensive cloud support, okay. That checks out. Microsoft's still doing that shit. Xbox Live, still great. Smart Glass, hilarious. Multimedia functionality, no one gave a shit. Why PlayStation 4 will win? Okay. So share. No, it wasn't. I mean, I guess you could pass a copy of a Killzone Liberation to your friend, but then, surprise, you have to pay Killzone Liberation. Indie Gaming Initiative, weird. 8 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. Remote play on the Vita and the DualShock 4 touchpad. I don't give a shit about any of that, and I don't think most people do either. Indie Gaming Initiative, though, that's really fun. Because it was around this time that the Xbox 360 made a really big push into indie development with Xbox Live Arcade and being the forefront of cheap digital distribution, like Xbox and Steam basically. And then like Microsoft got greedy and stupid, put a lot of pressure on indie developers to either pay for advertising spots on like the Xbox dashboard and all that kind of stuff, and being pretty tight with what kind of games you can and can't make, what they have to look like, all that kind of stuff, and really pushed a lot of developers out. And then Sony came in and said, make whatever garbage you want. And then the garbage came, but so did the good stuff, and there wasn't really any looking back, unfortunately. And you could argue that Xbox really hasn't recovered from this era of games. Like Quantum Break, yeah. Like I like Quantum Break because I'm insane and I like really weird shit. But like you're not gonna sell Quantum Break to 6 million players. Like, sorry, it's not gonna happen. Infamous Second Son. Hey, someone should make a podcast about that game. Yeah, about the lore of Infamous Second Son. We did that on the podcast, right? Lawrence, you're still watching? We did a few Infamous episodes. Weren't you on a few of those?